All right, hello again. So in this video, we're going to go over links, linking pages together. That's kind of the cool part about the web, right? Is that everything is kind of linked together. It's all one giant web. I think that's why it's called a web. So we're going to look at how links work. We're going to make some folders and talk about how to go up and down inside of folders. We'll add some styles for links. How do you change color and make kind of rollover effects? That's pretty cool. Link basics, of course. We'll talk about how to make external links, which are links to an external website, a separate website. I think we may have already seen that a little, but we'll do a little more. And then we'll do internal links between our pages or internally inside the same site, both up and down or in the same folder. And then we'll talk about email links a little bit, a lot about links, right? We'll talk about linking to a certain spot on a page, and then we'll also probably talk about root relative links if we have time. If my batteries don't run out. Okay, so let's look at, so this is the book. This is the 5th version of the book. You may say the 6th version of the book. We're kind of in a fringy time right now between that. But this is the chapter on links, which makes sense, right? So I wanted to show you a little bit of this ahead of time. It's got some nice illustrations that might help a little bit. So this is just a basic link to another website. You have A, which is anchor. That's the link tag is anchor. And then href stands for hypertext reference, which is the fancy way of saying, where's the link going to go? Whatever's between the links, again, between the opening anchor tag, here's the closing anchor tag. Whatever's between becomes the link. It doesn't matter, again, what that says. It could say bake a cake, and it's still going to go to O'Reilly.com. So that is basically how the link works. It's pretty easy to link to an external website. If I went to a website like W3 Schools or something, and then I wanted to link to that, I could just go up here, copy that link, and use it in the link tag just like that. And if I put that in between those anchor tags, it would link to that page. Pretty simple with when you're linking to an external site. We're going to do that, but it's pretty simple. Then we're going to talk about some different kinds of URLs. So you've got absolute URLs that has the whole path to the file. It may start with the protocol. Remember, this is Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which is the communication mode for web pages. You may see an S on the end. That means it's a secure site, HTTPS. That's S stands for secure. And then it's going to go to a website, right? And then if you see a slash, that means it's a folder after that. If you see more slashes, you're going down inside of folders. We're going to do that today. And then you might end on a file, right? Relative URL, so that tells exactly where that file is on the internet, for example, or on your computer. If you talk about relative URLs, the relative URLs, it's kind of like telling you how to get to that page from where you are. So this link I can tell says go inside the folder called recipes and then look for index.html. So you can go up and down through the folders, but it's telling you how to get there from where your file currently is. And I know it gets a little bit confusing, but we'll try to figure that out together. So linking to pages on the web, we said you just put the name of the URL that you want to link to in there. You can add target equals blank, underscore blank in there, and that will open it in a new tab. We'll look at that, hopefully, if I remember. That's an external link. We'll call that an external link. If you want to link to your own pages in your own site, I'm kind of skipping down. So it has this, the reason I wanted to use the book here, it has this nice illustration. Here's a folder that's called the root folder. You see it's got a slash there. It's got a folder called images. It's got a folder called recipes. It's got a couple of files, index and about. So if you haven't seen this before, index is probably what you should name, or definitely what you should name your home page, because that is the default file name for the file that the server is going to serve up for people. It's a server, right? So if I just put in if I put in a URL without a file name, it's going to go to index. That's kind of how that works at a website anyway. So index is your home page or your main page, your index page. And then here's about.html. There's a couple of images in there. Here's recipes. There's a few files in there. And then there's another folder inside of there. So you don't have to put everything in separate folders like this. But once your website gets bigger, it is a good idea to do that, because you're going to get all confused, and it's going to get chaotic with 10,000 files. Obviously, if you were on a giant website and there was 10,000 files on the site and they're all in one folder, that's not going to work very well. So a lot of times the folders are organized by the same way that the information architecture or the website is. So for example, Jen's Kitchen might have a section on recipes, and then she has the recipes inside of there. You can use, as a side note, you can use more than one index file, but they can't be in the same folder. You can't have two files with the same name in the same folder, but you could put an index file in here if you wanted to. That would work, or inside of there. Side note. So if you want to link to a file directly in the same directory, it is pretty easy. And we might not even do this because it's so easy that we might not do it. Maybe we will, I don't know. But here we've got a link. It says ahref, right? And it just says about.html and nothing else. That is a relative link that says go from index. We're actually on index, and we're going to go to about. So all you'd have to put in the link is the name of the file. Easy, right? So you could just dump all your files inside of the root folder and then just link them that way. That is possible. You're almost always going to see a separate images folder though. And then oftentimes you're going to see a separate CSS folder and a separate JS or JavaScript folder. So we'll put those in. We're not going to use them today, but just so you get used to doing that, because that is very typical to have an images folder, and sometimes it'll be IMG. You can call it whatever you want, but and then a CSS and a JavaScript folder. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. If you want to link down in a directory, it's pretty easy. So if I wanted to go from index to salmon, I would in the link, I'd say href equals recipes/salmon. That tells me to go from index to the recipes folder, find the rest, I say find the recipes folder, and then go to salmon. So pretty easy. Go inside the recipes folder, find salmon, recipes/salmon.html. So the last part here is obviously just the file, the actual web page, right? If you see two slashes, that means go inside the recipes folder, look for another folder called pasta. Now I'm getting hungry again. And look for couscous.html. Well, I don't like couscous, so now I'm not hungry. Okay, but that's how that works, right? So to get from there to there, you'd say recipes/pasta/couscous. And that would get me from there to there. Just like that. Oops, that's an image, that's not text. Okay. So that is how that works. What about if you want to go up, right? So we looked at how to go up. How do we go down? Or sorry, if we go down, how do we go back up? So if I'm on salmon, I'm on the salmon page, and I want to get back to index, how do I do that? All you do is you put .. That's what I say, .. / before the file you want to find, and that says go out of the folder I'm in. Right now I'm in the recipes folder, which has salmon in it. I'm going to go out of that folder and look for index, and there's index. Pretty easy. You don't even have to remember the folder because there's only one direction when you go up. There could be multiple ways to go down. If you want to go up 2 levels, it's the same thing. Just repeat it, .. That would be going from couscous to index. So .. gets me out of the pasta. I know this all sounds like a foreign language. It kind of is, I guess. Sorry. This gets me out of the pasta folder and out of the recipes folder, and now I can find index. So .. index means go up 2 levels, basically. Or if you want to go 3, it's 3 times, same thing. I think that is good. There's site root relative ones in here, which we're going to get to. Maybe we'll come back to that. But I think I've talked enough. We need to actually do this thing. Okay, so let me get this out of the way. We're going to add some styles for the links first. So I think if you're seeing this video in this format, I was nice and gave you these files to start with. You don't have to type all this stuff. So there's it's kind of like a cooking show. It's half done. I may have said that before already. But so we've got this page. It's kind of based on that template page that we probably did earlier, depending on when you see this. It's got a link to coding page and an AI page. I'm looking at the index page. Whoops, here's the index page, right? It's got a link to coding, the coding page, which is the one we're already on, and the AI page, which was the other one. But the links are all not in yet. So that's what we're going to do is we're going to put those links in there so it actually works. It doesn't work. If I click on AI, it's going to say nothing, doesn't work. Okay. So, and then the AI page is basically the same, except it has, it looks a little different because it has different stuff on it. So you'll see that when we start to link those back and forth. Okay. So let's put styles in for the links first. So I'm going to go down to right after the nav footer styles. It's probably around line 39-ish. And then I'm going to put in a colon link. So, whoops, spelled it wrong already. A colon link. So there are 4 sort of subcategories or pseudo classes of links. There's link, visited, hover, and active. So we're going to do all those. So we'll say color here. We're just changing the color of the links. And we're going to go 0E56D3. Sorry about the weird numbers, but it's kind of like a blue. It is a blue. And then, so now you may have seen this change, although this is now purple, which is the default color. So I should back up and say the default color for link is actually blue. The default visited color is purple. The default active color is red, and the default hover color, there isn't one, I don't think. Yeah, so that's the link color, right? So we're breaking up the link. Here we styled the link by itself. Now we're doing the pseudo classes. Okay, kind of breaking it into categories. So we're going to do a visited. And supposedly you need to do these in this order, and I'll tell you a way to remember that at the end. I'm going to do color again, and this time I'll do RGB because I wanted to show you that you can do any style of color code that you want. I can do hex, which is this one, right? This is hexadecimal. This is RGB. Either way it works. Probably see RGB more often now, but it actually doesn't really matter. Oh, I forgot to do something on link here. I'm going to go back up to link, and I'm going to say text decoration none. Why am I doing that? What does that do? That is going to turn off the links. I don't know if I am refreshed here. Let's see. Maybe I'm not looking at the right file. Oh, I'm on AI. That's right. Let's go to, let me go to AI and refresh here. And I'm previewing the wrong file. That's why I wasn't seeing it. There we go. So now I'm on the AI page. It says this page is about AI. That's a good clue. And now you can see that this is the coding link and this is the AI link, and the color has changed a little bit and there's no underline. By default, links are underlined. So text decoration none turns that off. So let's turn it off for the link and the visited link. Visited, again, if I didn't say that, visited means you've already been there. You might not remember because you have bad memory, but you have already been there, like me. I'm gonna say a hover now, and this is the cool one. It's kind of cool. Let's just copy this junk, and then we won't have to write quite so much. Oh, you guys notice that I did RGB wrong? Anybody notice that? You did. I did eventually. All right, so actually let's change this one to hex. So hex is pound, right? And then we're gonna do B for E 0 D. That's not an O, that's a D. It's kind of an orangey color. And then let's just copy that one, and we'll see what these do in a second. And we'll do a active. And we'll just change the color to red, which is the default active color, but you'll see what that looks like. Right, so yeah, we've got kind of a blue for the link color. We've got kind of a purple for the visited link color, which are pretty close to the actual colors, but not exactly. We've got a hover for, which is kind of orange for the hover color. And we've got red for the active. So I'm gonna take these two off. Actually, I'll do it specifically. I'll say underline. And I probably don't have to do that because That is the default anyway, but I wanted to show you that. So now I've got text decoration none on the link. I've got text decoration none on visited, text decoration underline on active or hover, and then text decoration underline on active. So what does all that mean? Well, now it's pretty cool. If I go over and roll over these links, right, I'll zoom in here a little bit. As I roll over, it gets an underline. So it doesn't have an underline, then it does. And if I click, it turns red. So this is the link color. This is the hover color. This is the active color. And it's not going to show me the visited color because I haven't visited it yet with this color. But the visited means I've already been there. So link is the default color, the regular color. Visited means you've been there. Hover means you're rolling over. And then active means you're actually clicking on it. That's the red. So this is hover, that's active. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, good enough. So now I'm going to take all this code, just these link color stuff, just select all that, copy it, and go to the index page. And if you started on the other one, just go back to the first one, whichever one you want, because we're going to put the same thing on both pages. We just want both those links colors on both pages. Later on, when we do external style sheets, you won't have to do that twice. You can just do it once and link it. That's just called the teaser for later. All right, now both pages should be okay with the link color. So we are good there. All right. So let's go down to the bottom. Let's do an external link. We've already done this, I believe, but I wanted to add one thing. So down at the bottom of this page, it says go to the W3C. If I click that, it goes to the W3C. It already works, right? Because it's already a valid link. Let me make this a little smaller if I can. I can't. As small as it gets. It's already a valid link. It says ahref equals HTTPS. That's secure www.w3.org, right? It goes there. But my site is gone now. So I want to open that in a new browser tab. So I'm going to just go in there and add Target, which is not your favorite store. It's the different Target. Target underscore blank. So what happens now? So let me refresh just to make sure that worked. Am I on the right page? I'm on AI. Yes, I think. Oh no, I was on index. And that's the problem, as I have two pages. Is this index? Yeah, this is index. Okay, so now I'm on index. I have to make sure I'm not looking at the right file because I've got two files open here and they're not linked yet. In a second, we'll be able to go back and forth, but not yet. All right, so the one on index says target equals blank underscore blank. And if I refresh, and I think I'm on the right one, I'm going to go down to W3C and click. Oh, look at that. What happened? You're like, nothing happened. Yes, it did. It did. Up here, I clicked on that link that says go to the W3 or go to the W3C. Sounds like a wrestling thing. And it opened up the website in a new browser tab now. That's what target underscore blank does. So if I took that out, now I took it out, it's on autosave. Remember, you're on autosave here. Autosave is on. That's why I'm not saving. And now I click on it. It goes in the same browser tab, right? See, it's in the same browser tab. So that's the difference. I'm going to put that back in. I'll just do undo. I did Command Z or Control Z to undo. So all I did really was a lot of words about target equals underscore blank. That opens in a new browser window. Sometimes when you go to a new site, you might want to go to a new browser tab, because then your site is still there, right? So they haven't actually left. They kind of left, but they haven't left. It's like they've got one foot out the door. If you leave that off, they are gone. They have gone to another site. So a lot of people want them, use target equals underscore blank so that you can sort of keep them around because you're attached to them, I guess. You want them to stay on your website. All right. So that is external links with the target attribute. So I think you've got that down. I bet you've got that down. Okay. So let's say we've got these two files, right? We do have these two files, and I want to make sure that both files have the target underscore blank. So I'm going to go down, just do this, just copy this guy to here. There we go. And you do have to have a space between there. So there we go. So now both pages have target underscore blank on them, I believe. Yeah, make sure you have that. Okay. So now we've got two files and they are in the same folder. I'm in the links folder. I think it's called links start. I'm going to give you that folder probably. This is what you guys have already. So if I go to the top and I go to my nav bar that we made earlier in our template file, probably, if I want to link those two files together, it's pretty darn easy. So I'm going to go to, so this is the coding link, right? Which actually is the index page. So I'm going to just put in coding. It's called, oh no, it's not coding, sorry. It's called index. And so you can see it highlights for you. See if you drag that folder to the VS Code window, it knows what's in the folder. So I can just click on that, or I can hit enter and it'll do that. So that helps you not mess up your links actually. And then here is AI. So I'm going to start to type AI. And as soon as I type one letter, it says AI.html. I can hit return and it's good. So what happened? So now if I'm on the index page, or actually I'm on the AI page, I'm going to do the same thing on the other page. Let's just copy and paste to save some time. So I'm going to copy and paste these two, Command C or Control C. And I'm going to go to, I was on the AI page. You're going to see that this can get confusing because you're on multiple files, right? But I'm going to click on index and just paste it in. I want the same thing on both pages, that's why. I could have done a save as, but then the rest of it would be different. All right, so now both pages, AI.html have the links in there at the top, and this one has the links also. You may be asking yourself, Mark, why is there a link to the coding page on the coding page? That is a good question. The reason is you want users to be able to learn your navigation. So if you took that out, then AI would be first, right? So the position of links will change. So the general recommendation is if I have 5 pages, I'm going to have 5 links here. And then they're all going to be in the same position every time. If you took out the current page, then the user is going to say like, well, the first link was this on this page, but now it's the second link. And they have to read everything. People don't like to read. You guys don't like to read. I know that. I know you don't like to read. So you want to keep the navigation the same on all the pages. And the way you do that is to have all the links on all the pages. Don't remove the current page. Sometimes you'll make that link grayed out or look different to show that you're already on that page, because that link's not going to work, right? If I'm on the index page, which I am, and I click that link, nothing happens. I'm already on that page. But look what happens if I click AI. Ooh, look at that. You guys didn't even know you had links. So now we're going from the coding page. This page is about coding, and this page is about AI. Yeah, so now you've got links. That would be great, but we're going to do a bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some folders in here. And you don't, like I said, you don't have to do this on every site that you ever do, but you will eventually have to make folders and go between those folders. So you got to know how to do that, and, you know, sort of. So I'm going to make I'm going to click right here inside VS Code and make a new folder. And I'm going to call this one CSS. And I'm going to click again and make another folder. I'm going to call this JS. And I'm going to click again and make another folder and call it AI. And I'm going to do lowercase AI for this one to show you that that's also okay. So why did I do all 3 of those? Well, I'm going to put this AI file in there in a second, and you'll see how to go up and down between the files. JS stands for JavaScript. A lot of times you're going to have a folder for JavaScript. And then CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. A lot of times you're going to have a folder just for Cascading Style Sheets. So we're putting those in there just because that's kind of standard practice. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. And then we're also going to do one more. Click on there and do IMG. That is a pretty common name for the image folder. So there you put your images in. That way you stay a bit organized, right? I know my CSS files are in here. I know my images are in there. My JavaScript is in there. My AI files are in there, which the AI will erase when it doesn't want me reading them anymore, but that's a different story. Okay. So we've got those 4 folders now. We still have our root folder. Everything's in our root folder called links start. And then we've got JS images or image, CSS for cascading style sheets, and our AI, which is going to be this guy. All right, so still our pages still work. I can still click over here. But what happens when I move this guy into the AI folder? Go ahead and drag that guy in there. Are you sure? It's like, yeah, okay, yeah. I like how VS Code's like, you sure you want to do that? Sure. So now AI is inside the AI folder. AI.html is inside the AI folder. Index is still where it was. And I go back here and I click on coding is fine. I click on AI. Uh-oh. Broken. That's what I say every time. Uh-oh. So it's broken because that path is no longer correct. So what's a path? The path is you're telling the browser how to get from page to page, from file to file. So we're going to fix that right now. So right now we've got index here. We got AI there. Make sure you're on index this time because I don't want to get confused myself and be like, which way am I going? So I'm on index. How do I get from index to AI? Do you remember from earlier in this video, 4 hours ago? I need to go inside the AI folder, right? So what do? All I do is put AI / ooh, look, there it is, right? Let's see if it works now. I'm gonna refresh. I'm just clicking refresh just in case, because maybe the server thing doesn't update. Click on AI. It works. I'm gonna go back to coding. Oh, it doesn't work. Why does that not work? Because those paths are wrong. Bummer. Uh-oh. So I'm gonna go to AI.html. Remember we had those other links in there. How do I get out of this AI folder and get to index? Do you remember that? You just go to the link to the index and put .. and look at that. It shows me every folder, plus there's index. I could just click on it. It's already actually there, but I'm gonna click on it. Oh, look at that, it works. So those are different on both pages, right? This one says just index because we're already on index. This one says AI/AI.html because we have to go in the AI folder. If we're on AI, we just put AI.html to go on the same page. It actually doesn't do anything, but you can put that in there. And then to get out of the AI folder, we put .. That's what I tried to instruct you on a little while ago. All right, so that works. That's awesome. Okay, so those are the basics of going up and down inside of files. We want to also show how to get to the top of a page, or not the top of a page, a different spot on a page. So let's do this one on the index page. So I'm gonna make sure I'm on index here, and then I'm gonna go down, and there is a link that says, the link's already in there, but it doesn't go anywhere because it just has the hash, right? That doesn't really do anything. So I want to have this link. It says go to the top. It looks like this. It's right there. It says go to the top. I want it to go to the top. Where's the top? The top is up here, and we have, if you remember, if you saw that video from the template, we have a div, a wrapper div with an ID of wrapper. It says div ID of wrapper. So that can become the target for a link. So I'm gonna go down to the bottom. Remember, it's called wrapper. And I'm gonna say, in that link, I'm gonna say pound, and that's convenient, right? It's pound wrapper or hash wrapper. That means go to the ID, pound is ID, named wrapper. So, I just messed it up. I dragged that, sorry. All right, so now, let's see if I'm on the index. Yes, I'm on the index. Now you see the go to the top is actually changed because I changed the link. It was a visited link, now it's not. So it says go to the top. If I click on that, I'm gonna make this window a little smaller so you can make sure it works. I make that window a little smaller, I'm gonna click on that, boom, it jumps to the top. Awesome, huh? So fun, I just like to do it over and over and over again. Yeah, it's fun for a minute. Okay, so that's how you can move up and down in the page. It's not just up and it's not just the top, it can be anywhere. So you can link to any ID and other things too, I think, but basically IDs by using pound and then the name of the ID. It has to match exactly. So it can't be capital W here and small w there, it has to be exactly. You might see sites that have big tables of like a big long page. You might see them sometimes. And then you can click and it's like a table of contents and it'll go down to that part of the page. You can make a table of contents and link to any part of the page that way. It's pretty neat. Did I just say neat? Yeah, I did. Okay, that's good. The next thing we want to do is, so that's a link to a certain spot. Let's go to AI and link to, actually, I'm going to go back to index. Sorry. I know I started to jump there a little bit. Go up to where it says coding web pages is not magic. It's about line 78. It might not be exactly for you guys because we added some stuff. So there is a, let's see. There is an H2 that says coding web pages is not magic right here. Yes. So let's put an ID in there. Let's say ID equals magic. There's no hash mark when you name the ID. It's when you kind of call it. So we put ID equals magic on the H2 that says coding web pages not magic. That's very important that you get that right. All right. H2 ID equals magic. All right, I'm going to go to the AI that was on the index page. I'm going to go to the AI page, and down at the bottom, so here's the AI page, right? Down at the bottom it says go to magic, which is not Magic Johnson, but it should be. Go to magic on the first page. So we're going to go to that link, and it is right here. Remember, this could be wrapper. Go ahead and change that one to wrapper, same as the first page. This one is going to go to the specific spot on index. So we have to use the same, gets a little bit weird. We have to use this same part here. So I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to go down here where it says go to magic on the first page. I will paste that. That will now go to just the index page, but we want to go even further. We want to go to the ID called magic. So all we do is add pound or hash magic, because that was the name of our ID, if I remember right. So what this is saying, I know this gets a little complicated here. This means go up a level, go to the page called index.html, and then look for an ID called magic. Let's see if it works. So I'm going to go down here, click on this guy. Oh, look at that. There's coding web pages not magic. If I make it smaller, you'll see it a little more in an interesting way. So now I'm on the AI page. I'm going to click on go to, I made it smaller so that it'll actually put the target of the link at the top of your browser window. That's what I'm trying to show you. So if I click on this, it says coding web pages is not magic. We're halfway down the index page. If I left this off like that, it would just go to the top of the page, or the page in general. So this goes to an ID on a separate page. Pretty sweet, huh? So you can link to specific IDs or locations on different pages. Crazy. Okay. All right. So the next to last thing, almost done here, is we want to do a link to an email address. So it says ahref, and I'll do this on the index page. We don't have to do this on both pages, I guess. So I'm gonna do this on the index page. It says ahref pound or hash Mark Garrett. So I'm gonna show you how to do a link to an email. So all you have to do is go ahead and write in here mail to colon and then an email address. Don't do mine, because then you'll be sending me a bunch of emails. Maybe I should use a fake one. Yeah. Mission college. My email's too long, huh? .edu. So it says mail to, that's all, it could be on one line. It's not fitting like that. Ahref, mail to colon, and then the email address. So now if I go to index and it says Mark Garrett right down there at the bottom, if I click on that, we'll see what happens. It's probably going to open, and yeah, it opened my email program. So that's what that does. An email link will open whatever is set up on your computer as a default email program. It might even be a browser like Gmail or whatever. That's dependent on your computer. I got to quit this now. That's what it will do. So that's an email link. You just put mail to colon and then the email address. You can even do a fancy thing, which we'll add here. You can put a question mark and say subject equals, and then put a subject in. Let's say I love music. I don't know why I wrote that. Yeah. So subject equals I love music. Okay. So when you have spaces in the subject, you probably want to put %20. That is the code for a space, just to be safe. So I'm going to put those two in there. So you really should have no spaces. So that says I love music. Let's try this again. I'm going to go ahead and click on this. I'll give you a second. So I wrote I %20 love %20 music %20. And let's see if it works. So I'm going to go down here to where it says, you see how it's blue again? Because I changed the link. I'm going to click on that. It's going to open my email program again. Look at that. That's crazy. I love music is in the subject line. So you can have the HTML already fill out the subject if you want. I don't think it's done a whole lot. Let me just quit this. There we go. Yeah, you can have it fill out the subject line if you want to. Let's just make sure that's on both pages since we did do it. I'm going to click on that, select that whole anchor, copy it, and go to AI and paste it in there. Just so they're both working. I think everything's working now. Let's see. So we've got links there that work. We've got links there that work. Oops. Nope. This is supposed to be pound. I almost missed that one. So if you're linking to an ID, you have to put the pound in it, and it will link to the wrapper, which is right there. All right. And then this is going to go back to that spot on the AI page. Yeah, that all looks good, I think. So let's try it. This is the big test. So I'm encoding. I should be able to go back and forth. You should be able to go back and forth. If I go down to the bottom and I click on go to the top, it should go to the top. That works. If I click on this guy, go to magic on the first page, it should go to, there it is. Coding web page is not magic. If I click on this, it should open the W3 website in a new browser window. That works. And last one, if I click, I already did this, but if I click on that, it should open an email. Yes, awesome. Everything works. Yours should also work. All right, so I think that pretty much does it. I was gonna show you root relative links, but I think I might do a small separate video for that one, or give you some reference for that. And the other thing is I wanted to make sure that you knew that when you turn this in, you do not want to turn these in as separate files. I know we're a little bit into the semester or the term, might be a different term than a semester, but you don't want to turn these in as separate files. You want to turn in all the files at once. So two things, you might either be uploading this to a server and consult the instructions on that if we're gonna do that, or if you are going to turn them in as in Canvas as an attachment or something like that, you want to zip the folder, right? So you've probably already seen this together, but what I would do is I would take that folder, here's the folder, and then I can right click on it, compress it, and then send this file. And then when I get it, I double click it and it will open back up to the correct files. Yeah, if you try to send these all as separate files in this, we've probably already gone over this, but if you try to send these all as separate files, as separate attachments, they're not gonna work because these paths all depend on these specific paths, file paths they're called. All right, I hope that is good. I think that's it for now. I will talk to you again later.